Hi, I'm Rogan Corbridge. I'm just giving you a second update video on some of the things that we're doing to develop the Snorkel face mask as used in COVID positive patients. There's been quite a few questions around decontamination and in particular around these fabric straps. So I'm going to show you a couple of options, one to help keep them clean in the first place, how to cover them up best, and also to look at an alternative where we can actually remove the straps altogether. So in terms of keeping the straps covered in the first place, what I'm going to show you is the use of two standard theatre masks, one with an elasticated strap and one a surgeon's hood, the sort of things that your orthopaedic surgery colleagues would use most of the time. So that's one way to help cover the straps in the first place, and as you can see it gives a pretty complete cover of all of the fabric areas. There is an alternative option, and that is to remove the straps completely. So what I'm going to show you is a way of cutting the straps off entirely, and then you can use stuff that's actually locally available in your hospital, almost certainly. That's the green TheraBand, the sort of thing that the physios will use. And I'll show you how to remove and replace the straps entirely. Okay, so your starting point is the mask with all the straps cut off and removed. Then what you can do is to use the TheraBand to replace the entire strap, passing it through the top slots and then tying a knot in each end. You then pass it through the lower straps in the same way that the original straps were fitted, through one slot, back, and then in through the other slot. I found it easier, rather than trying to tie a knot, to use a cable tie to secure that end. In order to get the arrangement of the straps correct at the back, you need to use a couple of cable ties again that will hold the center point of the top of the strap in place. And what I would suggest is that you don't pull these cable ties too tight, so that you can move them up and down in order to adjust the length of the single double strap at the back, which makes fitting easier. Okay, so I guess if your infection control team is still worried about the straps, if you've covered them, if you've removed them, if you've put some alternatives in there, then the other option is to use this as a single-use item. They are not terribly expensive, and certainly compared to a lot of other medical kit that we have, you could use it, dispose of the whole thing and start again. It does seem a little wasteful given that PPE is something that's in short supply, but I guess that is the ultimate argument when you come to talking about decontamination. Another problem we've come up with is communication in theatre. It's really quite difficult to be heard by the scrub team, and if you're doing a tracheostomy and asking for instruments or tubes, clearly that's an important thing to be able to hear easily. So I'm going to demonstrate to you a fairly simple solution. Again, things that are easily available, locally purchasable or through Amazon, and that is a throat microphone. We've tried a number of different microphones, both inside and attached to the mask, but this seems to be much better and gives a fairly simple solution. And this is a voice amplifier. It's the same sort of thing that you would find your tour guides using if they're walking you around a museum talking and they need to amplify their voice. Both of these again are locally available or available through Amazon for just a few pounds. So I'll show you how we put this together and demonstrate both with and without the microphone. So with the microphone in place, you want to put it fairly high up on the neck, not too low down. That seems to give the best sound. So this is my voice using the microphone, talking normally. I hope you can hear me, but as you'll understand, it's a little bit distorted and it's quite quiet, not altogether easy to hear.
If I use the microphone again, you can hear that actually it's much, much louder, and I think you'll agree that understanding in theatre is much improved.
In order to keep the microphone clean, you can again use the surgical hood, and if you tie it at the back, what you'll find is it covers all of the microphone area at the front. So the last couple of things I just wanted to mention, we've had a couple of questions about the possibility of CO2 buildup using these masks. In my experience, using this in a number of short cases, each of those lasting up to but not longer than an hour, we haven't had any problems at all. I can't say what would happen if you went beyond that, and it's certainly not something that I would find comfortable to use for much more than that period of time. The other question is about the effectiveness of the filters that are used in terms of filtering for COVID. There does seem to be some difference of opinion between some centres in the States and also in the UK. What I would suggest is that you take the advice of your local ITU. The filters that they're using on their ITU machines must be acceptable in terms of the risk to patients and of contaminating the ITU machines. So I would take their advice. I'll put a little poster underneath showing which filters we think are probably the best ones to use. Okay, so that's the update as it is at the moment. I hope you're finding these useful. Please come back to us again with any feedback. Stay safe.